trying to make sure that no damage can be done to the Mutalisk. Very good idea. As Terran is running back right now, he does have a couple Thors on the field, as well as he has expanded his Marauder army just a little tiny bit, a couple siege tanks as well. So the siege tanks may be able to absorb the damage from the Banelings if they are positioned correctly when the encounter occurs. However, some good micro can easily prevent the loss of all the Banelings to the siege tanks. So it looks like this planetary fortress is going to live barely. Don't really see too many SCVs. I think actually Tarson may have just transferred them back up here. I'm not too sure where they went. But we do see a couple Thor ships up here trying to catch up to the Mutalisk. However, at this point there is such a large gap between the two, it's not really going to matter. So the armies do combine back up, going to try to make another push possibly up onto the northern expansion, as the Mutalisks continue to avoid the Terran army. Very, very good play. You know, the Mutalisks directly one-on-one, they would not be able to take on this army. So what he's doing is just avoiding it entirely, and he's being everywhere that Tarson can't be. Because one of the downsides about the Terran army is that it's fairly immobile, even more so if you have a more mech-heavy build. So it's really important for Zerg players to, you know, if they can directly combat the forces, don't. Just stay away from them and continue harassing. And a lot of Terrans hate this. I mean, this is... It may seem like kind of a cheesy build a little bit to some people. It's certainly one of the more annoying builds that a Terran player can go up against because, I mean, unless they get a lot of air themselves, it's really hard to counter this with a ground-heavy force, as you just can't be everywhere at once. And so anyways, Terran is just going to say, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to attack this expansion and keep putting pressure on the Zerg base and force the Zerg to engage me directly, which, you know, I have a feeling that if the Banelings were not micro properly, then it would result in the Terran winning. However, this Baneling army is going to get in here and do a lot of damage to the Marine forces. They are just going to get plowed through. Oh my word, that was just devastating for the Terran. Lost all of his Marines, all of his air defenses, except for a couple poor pathetic Marines are now defeated. So these Mutalisks are just going to have their way with the siege tanks and the Marauders as more Zerglings continue to push in here. And, I mean, taking a look at the economy now, you know, Dalai is in such a great position. He is almost at 2k minerals per second. He is working off of, it looks like 4 gas refineries. It was working off of 5, but not so much anymore, because we do have the Terran army down here taking out this expansion, trying to stay ahead economy-wise. But, I mean, at this point, like, he's, Dalai's got, you know, this expansion just about mined out, but, you know, he's still got enough there, and he has rebuilt this expansion up here. So, for every attack that the Terran's doing, you know, the Zerg is just expanding right back again, and it's going to enable him to keep the pressure on that eventually Tarson's not going to be able to continue to do. You know, he does have a lot of minerals right here, but this is the only base that he is effectively operating off of right now. And looking at the game, I don't believe he even has an orbital command. I do not see one. I might be mistaken, but unless I'm completely blind, he doesn't have an orbital command. So there's the complete lack of mules as well there. So here comes a giant blue ball into the red base, taking out the tech labs, preventing the building of the Thors, taking out the medevacs, trying to take out the medevacs. Yep, he is trying to kite away the Marines while taking out a medevac, which even, you know, just damages the Terran RV even further, as all of these Marines that'll be sitting at half health, they're going to have to be healed, and this one poor medevac who's sitting at 40 hit points is going to have to drain all of his energy just to get those Marines back up to a fighting level. Fortunately, he just doubled his medevac count by building one more, so that'll help out a little bit, but at this point you can just look in the map and you can tell the Zerg has an enormous advantage. His creep highway is spread all the way down here towards the bottom. It's also spread in the middle here, so I mean, really at this point he is in such a great position to make any sort of push that he really wants to. And you can tell by the economy too, Tarson is really starting to show that he is only working off of one base. So the Terran player continue to push a Thor, a couple Marines, and a medevac, while the Zerg player is continuing to press out a couple more mutas, another hatchery as well. So we'll just have to see how this engagement is going to go, as he is using more mutas to take out these missile turrets. He is sending over here several mutas, which are unfortunately getting bunched up because of a slight miss macro. I think that was just a little bit of inattentiveness. So this Thor was able to get off a lot of damage. You can actually see down here, the bottom ones are the ones that got hit by those missiles. So very nice clump of mutas got hit by that, as the Terran player did come in here and take out this expansion again. However, he's rebuilding it right back. I mean, why not? You know, he's got the money. He's got he's got another hatchery right here, but he's got let's take a look at the income. Well, because of the loss of that expansion, it did go down, but he is still sitting on plenty to build that. So at this point, all the Zerg player is going to have to do is use his forces, which you can see still have a considerable number of banelings with the speed upgrade, and just wipe out the Terran army once and for all. And right now, probably wouldn't be the best position to do so because of the siege tanks in siege mode. However, this army is definitely looking a little bit smaller, a little bit less intense than the previous one that was encountered by the Zerg. So, definite miss micro there by some of the mutas. They went in and the Marines just decimated the mutalist forces. However, the Terran did not run back some of his units, so the other mutalists did indeed take them out. As you can see, there are some Zerglings hanging out right here that chased off the rest of the Terran forces. However, these mutalists are going to come in. Very nice spacing by Dalai to take out the Thor, using the magic box, so to speak, as the Marines come in here and push back the forces, making the Zerg draw back just a little bit and regain his forces, kind of get his composure back. I mean, at this point, he has to know he's got this. Dalai's got the high yield fully saturated now, getting ready to get some gas income from that as well. And you can see that both players a little bit hurting for gas. I mean, Dalai's got a little bit better position as he's getting ready to get gas from 2 more geysers. However, the Terran player, he is still mining off of this one base. All he has, 2 geysers and these 8 mineral patches right here. That is it. So somehow he is going to have to find a way to make a great push and make something happen here, as it looks like I just missed kind of a fight. So I am going to fast forward or rewind just a little bit here and take a look at this fight, see what happens as these Marines do come in, try to take out some of these mutas. However, the banelings and the mutas both decide to retreat, as there is a Thor kind of dragging along back here. But he is close enough to still exact some change in this fight, should he be needed to do so, as they do move in to try to take out this high-yield expansion, which is key for ensuring a victory by the Terran player. However, the mutas and the banelings and Zerglings are going to come in here, push the Terran forces back. Fantastic use of the banelings by Dalai to take out these Marines, as that just wiped out the army clean. That was it. That was it for the Terran army. So at this point, Terran, he doesn't have squat. I mean, taking a look at the army, you can see right here, 850, 2250, 425 to 1725, 66 out of 147. And at the income, you can see that Dalai's got it as well. So at this point, he is just securing any base he can. You can see that he has actually taken the expansion just southeast of Tarson's base, as he does move in with these mutals to try to make a final push on the supply depots. However, there are Stim Marines running back here, not really enough to take out the mutas if he were to do a direct engagement. However, Dalai is going to play it safe here and run back, bide his time, gather his forces just a little bit more, and continue to wear down the Terran player, as the Terran will just not be able to react to this kind of consistent pressure over and over again. He's going to have to expand, or he's going to have to make a really strong push at this point to force the Zerg back on a defensive position, get some map control. As Tarson's actually going to talk a little smack here. I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but we'll just let him do his thing. As Dalai does move out, and whoa, that's a little bit of bad manner there. I guess Tarson's thinking, the only attack he can really do at this point is maybe try to convince Dalai to leave the game in a fit of rage. Unfortunately for him, I don't think that works in the higher leagues. That's more of a silver league play, maybe some bronze, I don't know. But he is moving up here, trying to take this expansion. this expansion really wasn't that critical to the Zerg forces, but, you know, it was going to be kind of the natural place for the Zerg to expand next. So that was pretty much the push that he was going to be able to make, and unfortunately it just was not enough, as the Zerg definitely has a lot of forces here that are more than capable of responding to any threat by the Terran player at this point, as the Terran player is sitting on half of the mineral income that Zerg is sitting on. As you can take a look at... oh, it looks like there's some more smack talk about the upgrades and whatnot. You can see the upgrades, 2 and 2, haven't upgraded since we last talked about it. You know, Zerg's worked on getting air attacks 1, but I mean, really, what does it matter at this point? He could sneeze on the Terran base and it would just blow away to the other side of the map, so... Which is exactly what these Mutalisks are getting ready to do, actually. Maybe come in here and take out this other missile turret, try to do some more damage, knock out the production facilities, or he can just run along and look at that Scanipede. Whatever he wants to do. Actually, he looks like he's going to take out this high-yield expansion. Just get a little bit more map control, as the Terran player is making one final push. This has got to be it. I mean, he doesn't hardly have any minerals left. Take a quick look over here. You know, he's just got 5 patches that he's working on right now. Coming over here, try to take out this expansion, which does have several drones at it, which, fortunately for the Zerg player, all of them will be able to get out of here, as this is, you know, pretty decent size force. It's probably not going to be enough to take out what the Zerg has. As you can see, the Zerg is amassing up here, just northeast of the Terran player. He has some Banelings and Zerglings over here, some more over here, and the Mutalisk here in the middle. So if the Terran does make a push into this ramp right here, he is going to be attacked from 3 different sides, except it looks like the Zerg is just going to say, screw it, come down here, run an attack, and send all of his Banelings, which are going to hit some of the siege tanks. However, most of them are going to plow through the Marines, take out the siege tanks. Mutas are just working on finishing everything else up. There are so many Mutas here, they probably don't even have to worry about this many Marines. However, he is going to retreat the Mutalisks and try to get the Marines out of position, maybe, to do another attack without the medevac support. Instead, it looks like he is going to recruit just a little tiny bit, bring in some more Banelings and Zerglings, and just finish this fight off for good. Which it looks like he is going to do. He has had it. Enough is enough. He's just going to push out with what he has, which is more than enough to take out the forces that are present here. As these Marines, I think they're actually in the process of dying. I don't think I've ever seen a replay with a half-dead Marine before. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I definitely enjoyed it. Nice seeing a nice Zerg map control. And I will see you guys later, and I will leave you with this picture right here.